Now I know what you're thinking. Why is it that Grimm decided to hold off this particular update up until now? The last book, not even the last update, The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, to now. An update when we got a cameo of Grimm, who is also says to be a scarecrow, and conveniently enough, this update also featured Emily, who was also introduced into this update.
Coincidence? I think not!
The Scarecrow walks at midnight, and he will kill you.
You die.
Welcome to Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough. We have finally come full circle as we are going to finally complete the main stories and the book collection once together, because we are now going to take a look into The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. This all started from one person wanting to see the Toy Terrors batteries included, and what makes this so interesting is that this is the story that prolongs into, or starts, and then it goes into the Toy Terror storyline. But regardless of that, before I go into the story and all the stuff in this update, I might as well go ahead and tell you a little bit about this book in general, as you see a bit of some stuff over here. Some of the book covers that was released over the years that have came before. It was interesting that there was only a few newer ones that got re-released, but other than that, mostly it's the general, French, UK, the typical things we've seen before. And what's interesting with this book is, well, as the name implies, it's very bizarre. It's just talking about a kid and man, it's been so long, but the general gist of it is that they see a scarecrow and they think it walks within nighttime. Turns out it's like this weird thing where the farmer's hand was, like the assistant actually read a book and that caused the scarecrows to be alive. It's weird. The episode was weird, and the book, I mean, they made a graphic novel of it. It's just so much. But yeah, it's one of those interesting classic ones. Not to the vein, but it's one of those, I remember that being a Goosebumps book, but not really recall anything from it like the other more important characters that you probably have already seen before. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about this story within the game. This will be taking a look into 3 types of characters, well, 2 actually, and then there's the monster. The monsters being the scarecrows that look something like this. That interesting designs. I guess they kind of were basing it around the show, I guess. I'm not too sure if this is its own thing or what, but yeah, there they are. There it is, The more important ones, though, is that we're going to take a look into more so Jordan and Emily. We may have seen these characters before, but this is where we get introduced to Emily's character arc mostly. I forgot to mention that before this whole game kind of came out for launch, that there was actually a beta version of some of the characters, and one of them is Emily, and she kind of looked like this. So yeah, that's interesting. It's very bizarre, but whatever. It's what it is. We get a little sneak peek at Jordan's here, but namely Jordan's is more so batteries included, as we've seen. But what makes this interesting is how the story is portrayed, because even though The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight is slightly to do with the book, it kind of is a bit of a footnote overall. Namely, how this works is that there's like 3 arcs. The first arc is just the introduction to how Lucy got involved within the character because of it's weird, bizarre how it works. You'll see when I go through this story. The second one is talking more about how Jordan's life, who he is, what his goals are, and all that kind of stuff. And the last one is actually talking a little bit more of the scarecrows, but namely the disappearance of Cynthia Jones. So this is where the interesting part comes in. But with that in mind, I'm going to now read to you what the book collection states when it comes to the blurb, as it. Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Lucy starts to become known as the detective, and a new client seeks her help to find a missing girl. Then the missing girl, as we know, is Cynthia Jones, but this is Emily. Real quick look. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be showing you mostly all of her animations before we actually go into her quest line, because believe it or not, we actually don't get to see much of her quest lines. I ended up getting her during the Halloween back in 2018, so just ignore some of the spookiness of this. It's been almost 2 years since this whole thing was recorded, so imagine that. So yeah, expect those slowdowns, but this will be probably the last time we'll get to see this. But anyways, the first thing we're going to show is animation called her handstanding. It's as easy as implies. She walks around a little bit and then she just kind of stops and does a handstand. She's very interesting in the way she does her stuff. The second one is jumping rope, which looks like this. It's basically her walking around and basically skipping. This is the dark cornfield. This is what it cost at the time to get this unlocked, which we'll need to in order to complete the story. Also, the south of the cornfield. That will explain itself later. The interesting part about that whole thing, though, is that they actually added this later on, as you probably already know, due to the, I think it was back in, like, March of last year, they actually added, Clarissa into the mix, so she was the premium character within that whole Scarecrow bit. I think, I'm not 200% sure, this is another animation with her laying on hay. There's one more animation that I will show off, but that will be coming in the last part. The exploits of the Many Mysteries Club gain local recognition as Lucy fulfills her dream of becoming interviewed by Ricky Beamer, her favorite journalist. Yeah, so you can already tell where this will be going. So this is going to be the first arc, so it's going to be real quick, but here we go. Here is the story as we speak right about now.
The Scarecrow Walks at midnight.
Hello, Lucy. Nice to meet you. Thank you for agreeing for an interview.
I can't believe it! Ricky Beamer's interviewing me? I mean, hi, Ricky. Nice to meet you. Thank you for interviewing me.
Brooke, are you ready? Okay, let's begin. Lucy, could you tell us about your research methods?
Yeah, and thanks for making me deaf, Lucy. So do school newspaper, read. There you go.
Well, one of the most powerful information sources for my work is the school's newspaper.
Ah yes, the school's newspaper. Such a suck-up.
Did I mention that I am a great fan of your work, Ricky? I have saved all your articles.
Thank you, Lucy. It's always good to receive praises from our readers. It's like balm for the soul.
You say such beautiful things, Ricky.
Yeah, ignore the fact that these are gonna go real quick, but this story is gonna go real quick, like fast. So this is gonna be the only time this will ever happen because of how it's been like recorded 2 years ago. But anyways,
This article, for example, seems to contain some interesting info. I'll read it aloud. That's when I heard a strange noise coming from the cleaning closet.
Yes, I remember that report about the cleaning closet. I didn't write it, though.
Of course, I know the article wasn't yours because it totally lacked your excellent style.
okay, stop it already. You're making me cringe in embarrassment. So basically look into the cleaning closets and grab some items. It's a general normal fare as you expect. To just do this and get that, craft this. It's very simplistic, but anyways, it's gonna lead on.
Lucy, the closet is very small. If there was someone inside, the reporter couldn't have missed seeing them.
It's true, Ricky. The article says, "Fear seizes me," but I opened the door and there was nobody inside.
Maybe it was a ghost.
But if you look at this evacuation plan, you'll see that the kitchen is located on the other side of the closet.
That's amazing. Lucy, you're a great observer. Brooke, take a picture of this evacuation map.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Ricky. Let's go investigate the kitchen. I'm sure we'll find more clues there. Give me your hand. I don't want you to, get lost on the way. This school is a real labyrinth.
Thank you, Lucy. But don't worry, I know how to get into the kitchen. I'm also a student here.
Of course, yes. how silly I am.
Have her search for fingerprints in the kitchen and obtain some monster devices. If you had some of the some characters now be able to do that, like Shock, so I'm going to show that off here. I also apologize for the lateness of these videos being posted. We're getting to the busier months, so it's going to be hard for me to kind of keep my mind stimulated while also giving you bright entertainment. But don't worry, this episode is going to have a bit more maymays, like what's going to be coming up soon.
Look! The tracks we found in the kitchen are a 99% match to the others I found near the park's gazebo.
Do you mean fingerprints?
But these tracks don't seem human. They seem like some kind of beast. How strange.
Oh, Ricky, you have no idea the mysteries in this town. I could spend days telling you about them all.
Remember that show? Yeah, that was a thing.
Look what I found, Ricky. It looks like a recipe book. But the names of the dishes are weird.
What does it say, Lucy? Read them.
Dustin Williams in cream, Eric Tyson in sauce, Chuck Reed with orange, Lucy Del Rio sandwich.
Ooh, a sandwich, eh?
Oh, Ricky.
That was too close. You were almost
Lucy Del Rio.
a sandwich.
You're right.
I need to put that thing in there. Come on, that was just it was just asking for it.
What's this? What are you doing here? You damn nosy children. I'll eat you all. Arr!
And that is why she's called Mar. Because she goes arr like a pirate. Scare off the yummy kids. As it's basically as you think it is. It's her going around scaring kids, and the quest is already over.
Don't be afraid, Ricky. I'll protect you. Get away from them, you horrible monster.
That horrible monster is your teacher, by the way. You need to do your homework.
Lucy, no! We better run!
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting out of here.
Man, these things just go quick, don't they?
Alright, book. I'm done. I think the article on Lucy will be a success. She's a very nice girl.
She also thinks the same about you. You've made a big impression on her. Give me those newspapers, Ricky. I'll go distribute them.
Oh, Brooke, you have no idea how much of an influence he has on her. So this will be the last part to this act, and I am curious to see if they actually will do anything within that arc where Lucy finds out that Brooke and him are going out.
Great, the Skills paper has arrived. I wonder if there's anything about Cynthia. There's no news about Cynthia. Not a thing. But what is this? One Day with Lucy Del Rio, the founder of the Many Mysteries Club. Sounds interesting.
And here we go. We're finally done. So the next story. Jordan Jones Jr. is a promising young American football star. However, all he really cares about is finding his little sister, Cynthia. Okay, so that confirms that this is in America. This is America.
The careers of Jordan Jones Sr. has been boasted by his stint as a college football star.
Oh no, he's named after his father. This is not going to end well.
Thus he expects football to all be good for his young and promising son. He expects young Jordan to be the best, even though he's troubled by his little sister's disappearance.
It's been 2 whole days since Cynthia vanished. I wish they'd find her.
We're sorry, Mr. Jones, but we haven't discovered your daughter's whereabouts. I can assure you that we are doing everything possible to find her. Don't lose hope.
Yes, by doing absolutely nothing. I already know your shtick. Sure. Thank you for visiting, officer. Don't worry, we'll be talking about her in their own little video. I don't trust the police are doing their best to find my sister. See, me and Jordan knows. Me and Jordan are kindred spirits. We both have the same feeling. When Marcus Milkinsons have an emergency, they mobilize all their forces. Is that Greg's father? I'm guessing because that's the only other Milkinson I know interesting. So he is rich. I guess there's nothing I can do about it, except hope for the best. He's gonna hope for the best by placing the practice field. I guess. I don't know. Don't judge me. Yeah, so we've already unlocked the land, so we just have to put this down. And it's what's more to say? This gets a really more uniquely experience every so often, and I believe once we put this down, we have to have him animate a certain quest line, which was it requires him to be on the field, and as you can tell, he's a bit of a football player. But you'll soon know that although Jordan looks like he's one of those jock football players, he actually isn't, in the sense that you might be surprised with. There's a little nugget of what he really wants to be as a career choice. And as I implied with his name, it's kind of showing off that his father is expecting him to be just like him. So he's one of those parents. And obviously, it's interesting that they're going with that kind of dynamic with the overall look and feel. Also, that being said, there are other things about this game that intrigues me, especially with the name drop of. I'm assuming that was like I stated. I think that might have been Greg's father. Because, again, there's no other Milkinsons that I know, and we've already confirmed that his name is Greg Milkinson. And, yeah, we kind of suspected that he was rich, but that kind of confirmed it with the whole, they would do anything as soon as he gets to. So I'm kind of curious on the Milkinsons and what their whole shtick is as far as how they make their monies and their monetization value.
Have the police found your sister yet?
Hey, Emily. No. There's no news about her yet. It sucks waiting.
I guess the cops have other priorities. Let me know when there's info about her.
Thanks for asking. I'll let you know if we've learned anything. Emily always seems to appear every chapter. I can't stop thinking about my little sister. Where is she and what's happening to her? I can't concentrate, but I have to. We need to win this last game for the qualifying for the championship. Damn it, Cynthia! Where are you? Oh my god. Is that a dam? A dam before the dams became a thing? Pixo, I want to publicly apologize. I didn't know the dams were in the game before. I guess dam's okay to say for kids. Damn it all to hell. Do acrobatic experience. Yeah, so this is one of his other animations, but yeah, surprise for me that I ended up discovering that. But yeah, there was a dam in this episode. Just one, but yeah, I guess dam is okay for rated E for everybody. So yeah, just a fun lesson to learn. So seeing people say damn a bunch, not apparently bad. I thought it was bad because games told me that, or movies and games are like, no. If it's that, then it's gonna have to be in the big boy rating, the teen rating, the E10s, because it's too much. But it's what it is. Oh boy. All right. So this is him practicing of him, I guess, doing jumping jacks and whatever acrobatics he's doing. Kind of reminds me of what Courtney does for one of her animations. And like I've stated before, for this quest line, you don't really get to see animations for Emily, despite her kind of being the main focus of this storyline. But what's interesting about her is we get to see a little bit more about her grandmother in a little bit. I'll talk about that near the end. But the other interesting thing about it is there was one last animation I forgot to show off, and I had to record it way before I was done with this animation. So, anyways.
Look, Carly Beth, there's Jones. He looks so sad since his sister disappeared.
That's right, Carly Beth makes a scene here.
He sure does. I hope the police find the girl soon.
There she is! There she is, right there. There's her face. A brief cameo, but Poor girl doesn't get the appearance just yet. Maybe we get a haunted mask soon. It bothers me that my father wants me to focus on my sports career with no regards to what I want. I know he has the best intentions. He's just afraid that I'll fail my dreams of being a lawyer. But what he doesn't realize is that if we want change, we have to do it ourselves. Yeah, that's right. Stick it to your old man, Jordan. So build a bookstore and buy a book about law. So yes, apparently Jordan wants to be a lawyer when he grows up. One of those, the stick nears when it comes to lawyer and law. What kind of lawyer? Who knows? Maybe a copyright lawyer. Maybe he can assist me when it comes to some of the YouTube's BS systems in place. But I digress. We have another person that will make a brief appearance now.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. I see you are interested in studying the law. Don't forget the public library has a huge collection of books on the subject.
Thank you, Mr. Mortman. I'll keep it in mind. Mortman wants to sell him a book, I can tell.
Hi, Jordan. I heard what happened. I just wanted to tell you that I'm sure everything will be fine.
Thanks, Megan.
Will you play in Saturday's big game? You know the whole team depends on you.
Yes, Megan, I'll be there. This is where the interesting relationship might start. This is where people are going to be shipping Megan and Jordan together because, well, just like what we've seen in the past, right? I mean, come on, you know, she's not going to go back with Greg. You don't want to go back with him. He's a Richard. Everyone wants me to be at my best. I can't let them down, even though my mind is troubled. It's just one game. I can do this. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about Jordan, because that's about it. That's all you needed to know about him. So with that in mind, we're going to finally go into conclusion. The main story. Here we go. Following a note published in the school's newspapers, Emily Green, Cynthia's best friend, decided to hire Lucy to find Jordan's lost sister. Yep.
Emily is a carefree spirit, but something has keeping her from sleeping in peace lately.
Dear Lucy, I learned from the school's newspaper that you are the head of a club that solves mysteries. I'm writing to you because my friend Cynthia Jones has disappeared and I wanted you to find her. Emily Green.
Yeah, that's right. I scribbled on a piece of paper in real life. What of it? Yeah, do a handstand, and like I already sewn this stuff off, so I'm not gonna really show much of it just yet. That's why I kind of did the highlight reel, because again, this was taking place during the 2018 era, the era of me not knowing if I wanted to do this full time, and apparently I have, and apparently I'm now the face of this community from some people's enjoyment of my endeavors.
Dear Emily, thanks for writing to the Many Mysteries Club. I invite you to come to our treehouse so you can tell us more about your case. Lucy Del Rio.
She had to think about what she was writing there.
Hello, Emily. Welcome to the Many Mysteries Club. Have a seat and tell me how I can help. It's nice to meet you, Lucy. Thanks for letting me check out your cool treehouse. My problem is that my friend Cynthia has been missing for days now. Can you help find her? First, let me open a case file before you tell me the details.
Open investigation files. We need 3 of them because that's just how the game works. And, yeah, so, where are the scarecrows in this update? Where are they?
Alright. Emily, please, continue. I was playing hide-and-seek with Cynthia in the cornfield near my house. It was my turn to count, and when I got to 0, I looked everywhere for her. But she was nowhere. I quickly knew something was wrong. You see, she isn't as good as hiding. She always makes noise.
What kind of noise?
Was there anyone or anything around the cornfield when Cynthia disappeared? I don't think so. We always made sure that Mr. Harrison's not in the cornfield when we're playing in it.
Oh, Mr. Harrison. Wait until you learn about a little of him.
did you hear any strange noises before, during, or after her disappearance? No, it was silent as always. Not even the birds come close. Because of the scarecrows.
Oh, the scarecrows. They did it. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I didn't take her. Stop judging me. Failed attempt at humor. Alright, get the monster database. The audio is going to cut real here quickly, but yeah, finally we're going to get to the scarecrows. I wonder where they were all this time, but I guess, well, anyways, it's better late than never, I guess. But, yeah, this is brief.
Our database doesn't have any records of strange events in that part of View City. Strange things? What are you talking about, Lucy? Emily, let me tell you that this town has many mysteries. Nothing is what it seems.
No, I did that joke already. As funny as it would be a second time.
It was my turn to search. I was supposed to find her. I had to find her. And I didn't. Lucy, it's all my fault. We must find Cynthia. I feel so guilty. Calm down, Emily. We're gonna find her. I promise. But now we need you to be strong. Alright, Emily. We're close to the place where you said you saw Cynthia for the last time. Yes, this is it. This is the cornfield. Come on, I'll show you the exact place where we separated.
Ah, look, we expanded the cornfield. That was easy. It's needed for the last little bit we're about to find out here. The monster of the week, or the monster of this video, as it were. Yes, finally we're going to get to see these scarecrows in the most hilarious way possible in this dialogue exchange.
I can't believe you played hide and seek in this cornfield. It feels really scary here. Well, when we were playing it was daytime. It didn't look so scary in the sunshine.
They're at midnight. Oh no. Just like the, don't you know the title? The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight.
Well, I faced a lot in this town. Even ghouls. I don't suppose we'll find anything worse here.
Spawn the scarecrows from the corn seed. Oh yeah, nothing is the ordinary except for, you know, animate scarecrows. Yeah, I mean, the way she said it was just like a punchline. It's like, oh, nothing bad will happen now. And then immediately something bad happens. Why are the scarecrows animated? Who knows? They just are. They don't explain anything. They're just there. Like, that's some of the things. Some of the early books, as you'll notice, has nothing to do with the books, and others do. I do appreciate the newer stuff now because they've actually incorporated the actual books into the updates alongside the whole terror of it. And yeah, as of right now, I'm not looking at the spooky scarecrows rocking and running amok, but don't worry, I will be showing a very nice close-up on this next part. Not this section here, but I will be showing it off, so don't worry. You're going to see the spooky scarecrows scaring the townspeople. But for now, it's just this going on. This must have been taking place during the Thanksgiving weekend back in 2018 when the whole Snowman in Pasadena was actually updated. And, yeah, it's just clicking on faces and whatnot, but can you imagine, can you believe it? The story's already over. It's taken me almost a year or so just to get to this point, and we've finally gotten it done. So once this whole thing is over, we get to finally see the conclusion to the story. So, here we go.
Oof! Those scarecrows almost caught us!
Oof! Man, that oof is gonna be meme-worthy.
We have unleashed a new wave of terror in the city, but at least we found a clue.
Nah, you're not really. Every day is a new terror. They just kind of get forgotten after a while.
I bet poor Cynthia ran into these monsters while looking for a place to hide, and fled in terror. We have to find out in which direction she ran. Come on.
The old Sherlock thinks she's so smart, but she'd run if she knew the dangers that awaits her. Ha ha ha!
Man, Curly sounded really pissed during this whole thing. I'm wondering why that is. You don't think it has something to do with my character taking over the whole narration with my buddy Squally, eh? No, anyways, so here's the prize, the Deadly Gaze. Nice looking crow. Oh, that just reminds me. Oh, remember that comment about Mr. Harrison? Yeah, about that.
My grandma and the feather.
Good afternoon, young man. This is the pawn shop, right?
Yes, ma'am. How can I help you?
You see, I live on the outskirts of the city in a house I bought with my late husband more than 50 years ago.
Oh no, here we go. If you've ever talked to old ladies, sorry, Satyr.
I lived very close to a huge cornfield that once belonged to a Mr. Harrison. May he rest in peace. Did you hear about him?
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me Mr. Harrison's dead? He's a ghost! Actually, to be fair, that wouldn't be abnormal in a place like HorrorTown. That'd be like, I can see that.
There's something very strange about that cornfield. I've never seen anyone tend to it, yet it always fully grows. Anyways, I found this beautiful raven feather, and I was wondering if you're interested in buying it.
Did the scarecrows eat the bird, then? Is that what's going on here? I mean, I'm going to assume so. I mean, you gotta love the dialogue, too. It's just like, oh, I live close by to a house that a lot of people got murdered in. Anyways, I want to sell this remote. Can I do that right now? It's like, questions out of nowhere that makes no sense. Yeah, anyways, with that being out of place, that was one of the dialogue things that you got to see unique of. Like, I kind of tried showing it for most of these, but I didn't do a whole good job. But this one I particularly saved, so I'm glad for that. Anyways, this is the moment where I get to show you the close-up on the actual scarecrow scaring the townspeople, as it were, once we get this sold up. But the other thing that's important here, too, is that during this time with the scarecrows, they've whole changed now. Like I said, the Clarissa is part of the whole spiel. But now it kind of makes you wonder, did Mr. Harrison's cornfield, like, is Mr. Harrison haunting the cornfield? Did he do something with the scarecrows? Did they end up becoming alive? Like, is this something like what happened within the Creep Show episode with the scarecrow, where the guy got lonely and wanted protection, so he made a scarecrow, and now it's just alive and animate? I don't know. But, yeah, there's a cornfield that has no people to serve, but they have a bunch of scarecrows regardless, so... Yeah, so no more $12. You just need Clarissa in order for this. But we're going to get a good close-up of these guys attacking, as well as their, scare animations, as well as their whatever. And then you also like the little details of like the keep out signs and all that stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at them. So when they start off, they kind of walk very slow like this, and as soon as they start scaring, like any other monster, they'll just start running amok. So again, he's going to go very slowly. He's going to go do his little end attack, and then now he's going to run like, not like crazy, but he's a little bit faster than normal now. But what I've noticed when it comes to the AI, when it comes to these monster scenes, is that how it works is that they will go to the closest NPC that they can scare as far as things go. Like, say they were going for this character here. And if there's no characters to be scared, they'll just run around waiting for one to, actually become available and then go after them. So that's why you get scenes like where it's like scaring a particular person. If that person's scared, it'll just run amok until you clear the spooky face scarometer thing that's above their heads. And then immediately they're like, oh, free character, I'm going to go after him now. It's an interesting mechanic. Like, this is one of the unique aspects when it comes to this town builder game as far as mechanics go. The crafting is another one. And I think recently too, I was reading somebody's making a review of this game. I know they mentioned me because I don't blame why. And it's interesting that most of what I think it was, I'm trying to think who it was. But regardless of that, I did see their review, and for the most part, they were kind of fair. They were like, it's a mobile game, it's what to expect, but I like it's hard. Alright, here comes the dialogue exchange. I wonder what Satyr's gonna do with this.
I only bought the feather so that woman would finish talking once and for all. But I really can't think of how to promote this useless article. Pen used by Edgar Allan Poe to write his famous poem, The Raven.
Oh, okay. What's your authentication? I said, because you said so?
Satyr, you're a genius.
And that's it. That's all of the questline that relates to these scarecrows. Now, like I said, what I'm about to show you is going to be the animation that I forgot to show off, and this is it right here. This is her throwing some decks of cards, which is kind of funny because, this is what it's called. But it's kind of funny because this is taking place during the other thing in particular. But anyways, like I mentioned before, if you go over to this is my little area of what I've done here, and if you go over to the Scarecrow area now, in 2020, I don't know if I click on it per se, but I did show it off. This is where I kind of did my whole thing, but yeah, anyways, this is the grand prize is what it looks like. So that's it there. As far as the story goes, it's alright. It's nothing too offensive. I do like Emily as a character. It kind of builds off of why she's there, but it seems like, for the most part, compared to all the other stories, this one seems like it was kind of there, but not really. It's like, it's an afterthought, basically. It's like, yeah, we had to put a scarecrow there, but if the scarecrows weren't a thing, the story would have just been itself. It seems like this was mostly setting up for the batteries included toy terror update that I've mentioned before, but that is to be expected. I just also wanted to, before I leave, apologize on the fact that this has been taking so while, but as life goes on, it sometimes gets a little bit more harder to get things done, especially when you're not doing this as a job. But the best part about that is the fact that I get to make sure that this video becomes more worth watching and learning about, which is always my goal. But hey, congratulations. Let's go. Yay! Great job. Let's have some victory music. We finally did all the storybooks, so now all I have to do is the new stuff, right? Wrong. No. There's, like I've teased a bit, there is just one little thing I have to take care of, and that is to do with these guys. Yeah, remember these guys? The guys who have yet to have a story be told? Well, they kind of do, but they don't have a book to go associated with it, and I don't think they're going to get one anytime soon. As well as certain characters that did not get mentioned or shown off a bit with their animation. So, I've decided to do one last video, which is a bonus feature, as it were. This is me showing off all the things that I've missed with the emergency crew characters, or the what I'm calling the emergency crew, as well as the foreseen scares storylines that has been happening in between. My hope was to do just something like what they did with the Attack of the Mutant and the Crosby storyline, but it seems like that's not going to be the case, so I might as well put that out there. And if they do something later on in the future, then, hey, I'll just reference that in the next time. But, yes, once that is done, then I'm 100% done, and now anything else moving forward would be future content. Except for the story special books. It's like, as soon as I get something done, they're like, haha, nah, we introduced something else new, too. Oh, boy, thank you so much, Pixowl. It never ends. It never ends. Well, anyways, the main storyline's done. So, if you liked what you saw, let me know down below. And, any questions or I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I've just been dumbfounded. And, hope you enjoyed what you've watched. And, I'll end it now. So, until then, I've been Grim. Goodbye.